Hello, we're recording. Guess what? Story time. But, okay, update on the kitty cats. No updates. I haven't seen either of the strays, but all the food is gone in the morning, so maybe it's them eating, or maybe it's that dastardly skunk. So apparently I have a skunk that lives next door. And I think it lives underneath my neighbor's shed. And they left in the middle of the night. The neighbors left in the middle of the night one night. So they're gone. And I go to let Josephine, little poodle, my little dog, out. And she starts huffing and puffing. And now she's 15, so she's kind of old. But she is still all that in a bag of chips. And so she starts huffing and puffing and everything. And I'm like, oh, shit. So there's the skunk, big skunk. And I snap at it and clap at it. And it goes underneath the fence. And I'm like, yes, we are saved. No. Unbeknownst to me, skunk was female and had a baby. And that baby was in between me and the door. So here I am holding Josephine, trying to run around the skunk to get into the door, back in the house. And that little damn baby is chasing me. And it squirt trigger, the tail. This is Josephine. Isn't she a sweetheart? The squirt trigger is pulled and cocked and ready to let loose. And that little skunk, I mean, it's a cute, maniacal, demonic, little, adorable ball of horrendous odor is chasing me all over the backyard. And I can't get to the door. Finally, get to the door. And we get in. I'm like, shoo, whoop-ha. Got a one. No one got sprayed. So later that night, I go to let Josephine out, and I'm holding her. I hold her now and peruse the backyard to make sure it's safe. And I put a big old piece of wood next to the fence where it went under. So I let her out. There's no skunk. I think we're good. Put her down. I go back inside. Mistake. And next thing you know, the cats are going nuts. I'm like, what the hell? So I go in the back door, and you can just smell it. It's just in the air. So neither one of us got a direct hit, but it was floating in the air, and it was stinking. It was horrendous. And this is twice now. Happened last year too, but I didn't see any babies. But last year it was the mama skunk that chased us all over the backyard. So, yeah. My grandma called skunks wood pussies. Just so you know. So, reading time. Horton Hatches an Egg. It's Dr. Seuss all the way. I'm so thrilled. Here we go. Oh, wait a minute, because I just told you a nifty story. I need, got a wet throat. So here we go. Sighed Maisie, the lazy bird hatching an egg. I'm tired and I'm bored, and I've got kinks in my leg. From just sitting here day after day. It's work. I hate it. I'd much rather play. I take a vacation and fly off for a rest. If I could find someone to stay on my nest. If I could find someone, fly away free. Oh, picture. Da, da, da. Yeah, gotta have pictures. Then Horton the Elephant passed by her tree. Hello, called the lazy bird, smelling her best. You've nothing to do, and I do need a rest. Would you like to sit? Blech. I got to page 2, at least. Would you like to sit on the egg in my nest? The elephant laughed. Why, of all silly things? I haven't feathers and I haven't wings. Me on your egg? Why, that doesn't make sense. Your egg is so small, ma'am, and I'm so immense. Tut, tut, answered Tut, tut, answered Maisie. I know you're not small, but I'm sure you can do it. No trouble at all. Come sit on it softly, you're gentle and kind. Come be a good fellow, I know you won't mind. I can't, said the elephant. Please, begged the bird. I won't be gone long, sir. I give you my word. I'll hurry right back. Why, I'll never be missed. Da, da, da. Sounds like some of my coworkers at lunch. I'm so funny, I crack myself up. Very well, said the elephant, since you insist. You want a vacation, go fly off and take it. I'll sit on your egg and I'll try not to break it. I'll stay and be faithful. I mean what I say. Toodaloo, sang out Maisie and fluttered away. Da, 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 the first thing to do, murmured Horton. Let's see. The first thing to do is to prop up this tree. Make it much stronger. That has to be done before I get on it. I must weigh a ton. Nah. It's kind of like how I feel sitting on the couch sometimes. I'm just full of it tonight, aren't I? Then carefully and tenderly and gently he crept up the tree to the nest where the little egg slept. It's a snoozy egg. Then Horton the elephant smiled. Now that's that. And he sat, and he sat, and he sat, and he sat. And he sat all that day, and he kept the egg warm, and he sat all that night through a terrible storm. It poured and it lightened. It thundered, it rumbled. This isn't much fun, the poor elephant grumbled. I wish he'd come back, 'cause I'm cold and I'm wet. I hope that Maisie bird doesn't forget. The tragedy. But Maisie, by this time, was far beyond reach, enjoying the sunshine way off in Palm Beach, and having such fun, such a wonderful rest. Decided she'd never go back to that nest. Gotta figure out these pages one. So Horton kept sitting there day after day, and soon it was autumn and the leaves blew away. And then came winter and the snow and the sleet. The icicles hung from his trunk and his feet. Horton kept sitting and said with a sneeze, I'll stay on this egg and I won't let it freeze. I meant what I said and I said what I meant. An elephant's faithful 100%. Yes, indeed. So poor Horton sat there the whole winter through, and then came springtime and troubles anew. His friends gathered round, they shouted with glee, look, Horton's the elephant up in a tree. They taunted and teased him, they yelled on, how absurd, old Horton the elephant thinks he's a bird. They indignantly. They laughed and they laughed, then they all ran away. And Horton was lonely, he wanted to play. But he sat on the egg and continued to say, I meant what I said and I said what I meant. An elephant's faithful, 100%. No matter what happened, this egg must be tended, but poor Horton's troubles were far, far from ended. For while Horton sat there so faithful and so kind, the hunters came sneaking up softly behind me. He heard the men's footsteps. He turned with a start. 3 rifles were aiming straight at his heart. Ooh. Time for a fright. Hello, beastie. And the cat's back. How are you? What's that? Well, come here. What are you doing? There's my boy. Come here. Oh, come here. This is Sirius Black. My beastie. He's pissed now that I just picked him up. Because, you know, he's like a 12-year-old prepubescent boy. Mom gave him attention. He has to run away. Did he run? He did not. Horton stayed on that nest. He held his head high and he threw out his chest. He looked at the hunters as much as to say, shoot if you must, but I won't run away. I meant what I said and I said what I meant. An elephant's faithful 100%. Ooh, scary. Attention. But the men didn't shoot, much to Horton's surprise. They dropped their 3 guns and they stared with wide eyes. Look! They all shouted. Can such a thing be? An elephant sitting on top of a tree. It's strange, it's amazing, it's wonderfully new. Don't shoot him, we'll catch him. That's just what we'll do. Let's take him alive while he's terribly funny. We'll sell him back home to the circus for money. And that noise in the background was Josephine scratching to make her bed. Because, you know, Old or not, she is all dog. The first thing he knew, they had built a big wagon with ropes on the front for the pullers to drag on. They dug up his tree and they put it inside, with Horton so sad he practically cried. "We're off," the men shouted, and off they all went, with Horton unhappy 100%. Oh, some days I feel like Horton. Not today. Up out of the jungle, up into the sky, up over the mountains 10,000 feet high. And down, down the mountains and down to the sea went the cart with the elephant, egg, nest, and tree. Oh, God. Then out of the wagon and onto a ship, out over the ocean, and oh, what a trip. Rolling and tossing and splashed with the spray, and Horton said day after day after day, I meant what I said, and I said what I meant. But oh, I'm so seasick, 100%. Should we wave like we're on the ocean? Yeah. After bobbing around for 2 weeks like a cork, they landed at last in the town of New York. "Oh, sure," the men shouted. Down with a lurch went Horton the Elephant, still on his perch. Tied onto a board that could scarcely hold him, bump, Horton landed, and then the men sold him. Sold to the circus. Then week after week, they showed him to people at 10 cents a peek. They took him to Boston and Kalamazoo, Chicago, Weehawken, and Washington, too. To Dayton, Ohio, and St. Paul, Minnesota. To Wichita, Kansas, to Drake, North Dakota. And everywhere thousands of folks flocked to see and laugh at the elephant up in a tree. Poor Horton grew sadder the farther he went, but he said as he sat on the hot, noisy tent, I meant what I said, and I said what I meant. An elephant's faithful, 100%. Poor Horton. Then one day, the circus show happened to reach a town way down south, not far from Palm Beach. And waddling along up high in the sky, who, of all people, should chance to fly by? That old good-for-nothing bird, Runaway Maisie, still on vacation and still just as lazy. And spying the flags and the tents just below, she sang out, "What fun! Why, I'll go to the show." And she swooped from the clouds through the open tent door. "Good gracious," gasped Maisie. "I've seen you before." Poor Horton looked up with his face white as chalk. He started to speak, but before he could talk, oh, picture, oh, don't forget the picture. It's getting tense. Drama, 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 drama. There rang out the noisiest ear-splitting squeaks from the egg that he'd sat on for 51 weeks. Oh my, I need a drink. I can't do it. So refreshing. Now I can get to it. We should start over on the page. There rang out the noisiest ear-splitting squeaks from the egg that he'd sat on for 51 weeks. A thumping, a bumping, a wild, alive scratching. "My egg!" shouted Horton. "My egg! Why, it's hatching!" "But it's mine!" screeched the bird when she heard the egg crack. The work was all done. Now she wanted it back. "It's my egg," she sputtered. "You stole it from me. Get off my nest and get out of my tree." Poor Horton back down with a sad, happy heart. Oh, poor Horton. But at that very instant, the egg burst apart. And out of the pieces of the red and white shell from the egg that he'd sat on so long and so well, Horton the Elephant said something whiz. It had ears, and a tail, and a trunk just like his. He's been drinking what I'm drinking. Then the people came shouting, "What's all this about?" They looked and they stared with their eyes popping out. Then they cheered and they cheered and they cheered more and more. They've never seen anything like it before. "My goodness, my gracious," they shouted, "my word, that's something brand new, an elephant bird." And it should be, and it should be, and it should be like that. Because Horton was faithful. He sat and he sat and he meant what he said and he said what he meant. Oh, picture. Can't forget the pictures. Whoops. Oh, yeah, that was. And they sent him home happy, 100%. Yay! I love happy endings. Any more? No, that was it. Blank page. Ha ha. Great. Have a great night. Bye.